Hi, it's ChickenboneJohn here, back in the workshop, and I'm just going to do a little talk about shaping cigar box guitar necks. Here's one I've got, which is a piece of cherry wood with a walnut fretboard. This one's going to have a hardtail bridge, so I've got these little wings glued onto the sort of tail end where it goes inside the box. That's one I've got shaped up. Here's one which is ready for carving. So it's had this back strap glued on, it's had the little wings for the bridge, it's had the headstock cut, it's got the fretboard all on there slotted and marked up. So let's go and see how we do this. No real fancy tools, no machinery. I'm going to carve this with just rasps and a spokeshave. Okay, I'll just show you the tools we're going to use. Okay, we'll have a quick look at the tools we're going to use to carve the back of this neck. The main thing I'm going to be using to start this is the Microplane. This is a sort of 3/4 round one. I'm not going to be using these other tools today, but they are very useful. Some people like to use them. Here's the Shinto rasp, which is sort of like a serrated metal blade. They're quite cheap. It's got a coarse side and a fine side. Then we've got a conventional flat rasp. That's a good quality Swiss Valorbe one. And here's an old half round rasp. The main work I'm going to be doing is with these things, the Spokeshaves. I've got the black one is the one I use for most of the work. It's set fairly coarse. The red one set a little finer. This one's got a concave base, which I don't tend to use very much. I thought I'd get one, and that's my sort of spare one which I take out with me. These are just sort of acquired, really. You know, I think this is the only one I've actually bought, and I wasn't that impressed with it. It's German and it's not really as good quality as the others. The other thing which I'm going to be using, I'm going to be doing this by clamping the neck to the bench. And I've got these cool things which are sort of like half a C-clamp, which are bolted to the bench top, and that allows me basically to trap my neck in here and have it projecting out, so I can get work all the way along the neck. I'll get this set up and show you how we do it. Okay, so here we are at the bench. Here's my neck. So I'm just going to pop that on there, and I'm just going to put just a protective packer so I don't crush the neck, and I'm just going to screw these down. It's pretty tight on my bench. This is not ideal. I've got my pillar drill, I've got a vise, but anyway, and we're just going to tighten those down so that isn't going to go anywhere. To stop this neck wobbling about, I've got this piece of wood which is just a stick with a hinged foot on it, bit of padding and a strap, and we just slip that so it just tap that in so it wedges tight, and there we go. That's our neck ready for working. That's as supported as you need to be. Okay, I'm going to start working here just at the back of the nut to get this rounded, start getting the rounded shape here. So just using my round microplane, I'm just going to rough that in. See, it's nice and quick. I'm not going to take too much off, but I'm just going to get the basic. I like to work around both sides, so I might get in the camera shot here. So I've got that roughly rounded off. Now what I'm going to do is move to the other end of the neck, so we'll just move the camera a wee bit. See if we can see what we're doing here. Okay, so I'm going to do pretty much the same thing at this heel, at this transition. So I'm going to start, rough that in. I'm not using a gauge, I'm just doing this by eye. Try and keep, I like to use both hands, but I'll just try and keep a hand out of the shot. So there we go. Work symmetrically, that's the key at all times. And then I'm just going to start bringing this heel down here. Just taking the edge off that. Just applying a bit of downward pressure with that. And then we can start gently rounding the shape of the heel. Just work steady. So I'm just going on a 45-degree, bit of pressure. We're just roughing this in. So we can see we begin to get the shape of the heel there. Okay, now we've got the whole neck to go at now. So what we're going to do from these 2 points is to carve this with our spoke shave. So for this I'll be using the more coarse set of these spoke shaves. So all I'm going to do is to work evenly along both sides, and I'll see if I can do this without getting in camera shot. And I'm just holding that at a 45-degree angle. I might need to just take this where I was starting the stroke. Okay, and I'm going to go down the other side of it. The action's on the push stroke. I'm using my thumbs here and these little dimples to push that in. You might need to keep clearing the throat of this to stop the shavings building up. The key is working symmetrically and working evenly all the way down the neck. I'm just going to pull that in a wee bit. Okay, so we've started that, so I'm going to... I'm working down towards where I've carved it with my microplane file. Really, this is a pushing tool, but occasionally I will pull. Also stops me getting in the way of the camera. There we go. And then I'm going to start rounding over, so I'm just going to rock the thing over towards the flat. Same here, just starting on the... And now I'm just going to roll it over steadily, taking the other shoulder of that off. Working towards where I've got my carve in there, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Sometimes you can feel the grain chatter a little bit. It might want to work one direction more easily than the other. Now that's it. My neck's pretty well shaped, and I'm just going to do it by hand, by feeling how symmetrical I've got that. Just keep cleaning the this out. One important thing with tools, any bladed tool, is the setup. You don't want to be taking too much out cut each time, so you don't want that blade advanced too far, and you want it sharp. They're easy to set up if you've got this type with the little adjuster wheels. You just unscrew this, slacken it off, tweak these round, tighten it up. So if I go to my next one, it's exactly the same tool. You can see actually the blade's backed off more in the throat here, and I'm taking less of a cut. So much finer cut. So now I'm beginning to remove all the little sort of lines and marks between these cuts. Basically what I'm going to end up with is a neck that's carved and ready for sanding. I'm just getting into where I have taken that down with my half round microplane file. Just working to that transition a little bit. That's it. We're pretty well done. So really now it's a matter of cleaning up these transitions. This is where you can use things like your half round file. Just to help clean that up. You just go progressively finer and finer. So that's getting that. I'm getting rid of the glue where they're visible. So the glue joint between the back strap here. I can start doing my transition into my headstock. That's vibrating a wee bit. There we go. So that isn't far off now, ready for final sanding. I'll just do the sort of shape in here. A little bit on that. So all I need to do is just unstrap that, take my prop away, unclamp here, and now I've got a neck which is, it's a little bit rough and ready in places. For the purpose of the demonstration I was trying to be as quick as I can, but that really a little bit more touch with the Spokeshave. So as you can see, that didn't take all that long with just basic tools of a well set up Spokeshave. I have the luxury of using two, but you could have one and just back it off and adjust it for the final cut. This sort of 3/4 round large radius microplane, and I just use this old cheap half round rasp to start roughing things in on these transitions. But really a little bit, I think another touch with the Spokeshave, and then sandpaper it, and we probably go down from sort of 60 grade, 80 grade, 120, 240, just smoothing out the lumps and bumps, and there you've got a hand carved neck. So that was done entirely without power tools in a few minutes. It's no big deal. If your tools are set up, just take your time, don't rush it, work symmetrically, bit by bit, keep checking I didn't do any measurements here. I just did it on the feel. Does it feel right in the hand? Take a little bit more. Does it feel a bit square? You can feel exactly where it's a little bit square if it feels lumpy in the hand. But with some sanding back, that's going to be ready for a ChickenboneJohn guitar. Okay, bye for now.